had found a video like this back in my beauty days, or a podcast, like to listen to that and to get that reassurance, or to get that, oh, like that she said it this way, able to detach and be like, it is a natural consequence of business because our treatments are so subjective. There's always going to be opinions. Subjective as in it's how somebody feels, and you can't control that. Like what one person thinks is an outstanding treatment, another mightn't be that impressed by. And things like that will avoid complaints. I think if it starts off with good vibe, good energy, the links in the chain, you have your complaints procedure, you can never be too professional. Hello, and welcome. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to do a talk all about handling client complaints, how to avoid them in the first place, what to do if you have one right in front of you. And I think this is a really important topic because it gives you a lot of confidence as a therapist. And the sad fact is that I think it's very unavoidable for your whole career to avoid getting even a complaint, and I'll explain why in a second. So this video is for any like freelance beauty, spa, holistic therapist, even if you're a spa director, how to train your staff on handling complaints. And this is from my own experience. I also have corporate experience in complaint management and logging like data protection breaches and all this. So it's a combination of all that. I have a very unique background with the beauty and the corporate element, so I'm going to add all that in for you guys, and let's get straight into it. So first of all is the first time you ever get a complaint as a therapist can be really nerve-wracking. It's so hard not to take it personal because it's such a one-to-one, like you've demonstrated a skill, you've applied nails, makeup, or like a massage treatment. It's so subjective and so many factors come into play. So it's it's somebody's opinion. Complaints are literally just people's opinions, and everybody has an opinion, and you can't control another human being. You could do the best treatment and you could check in at every second of the treatment and be like, are you happy with this? Is this the right color you wanted? Is this the right treatment you wanted? Is this the right pressure? Is this comfortable? Is that comfortable? And you could still get a complaint. And all those questions show a lot of like insecurity in your work as well, so that you should just stand by your work and stand by. If you're a manager, then you definitely need to stand by your staff and back them up if there's a complaint, as in like we all get the same training. It's a sign of complaints is a lack of training as well, or getting frequent complaints is a lack of like training for the staff, because if the staff are well trained and they're really confident, they can handle the complaints themselves if there's any, and you're avoiding a lot of them in the first place because that confident energy comes across. So if you're a therapist and you get the complaint, it's like soul destroying because it's so hard not to take it personal. But yeah, do remember that first of all, this is one thing I really learned in the industry. Customers sometimes complain in order to get a discount. They're that cheap minded. They're really like they complain for no reason. They say like they just literally are discounting your service to get any kind of money back, to like, even if the treatment was outstanding, they'll find something to complain about. Oh, the bed wasn't comfortable, the treatment couch, or I was too warm, or the wax burnt me. And you're like, I tested the wax temperature on your wrist, I did a patch test, we tested the wax on your body. I was literally standing right there and continuously communicating and asking you, how is that sensation? How is that temperature for you? Like waxing is never the most pleasant and relaxation focused treatment, but it's still like, you know, it's uncomfortable to an extent, the same as laser, but it's bearable, and it's like, if it's done right, you can minimize, you stretch the skin, things like that. You support the skin and against the hair growth, and you do it quickly and efficiently, and you know, you can avoid a lot of complaints. But be aware that some customers are bargain hunting. They're out to do this, and they do this in any place. They would do it in a shop. They would do it in a furniture shop. They'd be like, oh, there's a scrape on that table, give me a discount. Oh, is that the display model? And like, I've done it myself in terms of, it's terrible. Like, getting a baby buggy, a baby pushchair, and saying, well, this is the display model, can you give it to me for a different price? You know, and you chance your arm. So I never knew that people actually do that. See, beauty treatments or spa treatments, massage especially, or like reflexology, energy-based treatments, they're so subjective. And what people don't understand, you're not paying for a direct result, you're paying for a shift in energy, you're paying to feel better, and that's the therapist's time. So once the treatment has taken place, you can't give the client like a broken product. If you sold somebody a broken product, of course they have consumer rights to demand like either like a replacement or some type of refund, or do you have a change of mind policy? So yeah, like, it's the therapist's time, so it's a service, it's a skill, so it's so subjective. That's why the complaints issue is a very tricky kind of grey area. So I think the first one is have sufficient training in your skill, have a complaints procedure in place, written down clearly, and everybody, if you're working with other therapists, have everyone trained on it, the receptionist, everybody, because a lot of times customers don't want to directly complain. They go straight to the manager, they go straight to the receptionist. They don't always say it to the therapist, even though the therapist may ask, was that service okay for you today, or how is that pressure, or how is that nail colour for you? Like, that's a good one to always be checking throughout the treatment. Like, before you paint the nail colour, be like, show them it, interrupt. Even if somebody's getting a pedicure and they're there with their friends, it shows you're professional. Politely interrupt and say, is this the correct colour, is that what you thought? Because sometimes the like sample nail, you know, the little plastic nails, can you apply this to whatever, if you're freelance like health or wellness coach, or if you're a different type of spa therapist, more like holistic, you apply whatever is the correct version of your treatment, if you understand what I mean. A lot of times I'll use beauty examples just because they're visual, or they're more a lot of people get those treatments, they can really easily relate. So yeah, a good one is to check in throughout the treatment. Always check like people's comfort, and like, they can't relax and get skin treatment, they can't listen to you and get your skin analysis, or they can't listen to you and relax to the music if they're uncomfortable somehow in the bed. So it's predicting that comfort. What would help, like a cushion under the knees, can really help support the back, the lower back, on a treatment couch, which can make people for a full hour massage treatment really, really uncomfortable. Or a skin analysis, like a skin facial treatment, you know, you need to check in with, and people can be claustrophobic, so don't always like ask before you put a cushion over their eyes. Ask if you are going to do like a body wrap. Do they want their feet out? Do they want their head out? Do they want their arms out? Like, it's their treatment as well, so you need to customize it. Or with the nails, yeah, always check in before you start the polish, especially if it's like a gel. Check the color with them, things like that. So yeah, complaints procedure, clearly written down, predict all these possible complaint factors, And then if you really work on your customer journey, so I have a whole separate video about the links in the chain, the customer journey, like how your client is funneled through your treatment. So from the very first time they become aware of your salon, to booking in, to arriving on the day, to actually getting through their treatment, to buying any products, and then for them the home care and like the follow-up, and when they would rebook in. So the whole process, I call it the links in the chain. So if one link is broken, the whole chain falls apart. So it's like really hard to sell if somebody's had a bad booking experience. Like trying to book an appointment was really frustrating, and now they're just there, they just want it over, and it leaves a bad energy in their mouth. So a lot of these complaints can deal with your sales environment. So those links in the chain, the customer journey, is part of your sales environment. Is your sales environment supported? Is your treatment supported by the establishment, by the spa, by the receptionist, is everything working as a well-oiled machine, a team? Even if you're solo esthetician, a solo entrepreneur, and you might be doing virtual skin consultations. How's that client booking in? How's the system? How did they discover you? The social media, it all still applies. How are those systems supporting you? So you mightn't have spa staff or spa attendants or spa concierge, but you'll have like your IT systems, your social media accounts. Was your handle easy to find? Were your pictures clear? Did people understand straight away what treatments you do? Really visual, really clear, and the pricing. And yes, so you need to look at your customer journey. You need to have your complaints procedure written down with the customer journey in mind, and mitigate or like try to avoid potential complaints already at that stage. Do a whole analysis on your customer journey, and that will show up any areas for complaints. You actually lie down and get the treatment done. Pretend and go through the motions. Like, is your bed comfortable? Is there a draft? Or is there some light above the client's head? Is there a certain smell? Is there, think of the senses. Think of, oh my God, for example, right? When I worked in a busy day spa, it was like the doors. Oh my God. No, actually I got a treatment done as well in a different spa, and I noticed this. The doors, the staff were rushing around. The treatment was fab, but all they had to do was slam that door, and excuse my French, I was about to say something else there, and it ruined everything. And how could I couldn't really complain. I was a bit like, it's so fussy, but yet so it just took the value out of that treatment altogether. Slamming doors, staff chatting in corners, big no. Girls chatting at reception, no. Stop huddling at reception. It's so intimidating as a woman to walk in, coming from the pool, coming without your makeup on, and you have 3 gorgeous dolled up princesses, and then it's that bitchy energy. It's just not professional. The giddy laugh and the thing, it makes you uneasy. You're like, why? It's just keep it for the break room. It's really hard to do. Yes, you're trying to get through your day and you need to have your team building, but this is if you have more than one staff, or things like chewing gum, all these little things that could be in sucking a cough sweet, they make noise. So if you're getting your facial treatment and you're trying to relax, the body odor, is all these things that could take you out of your relaxation phase. Some people are really sensitive to certain aromatherapy oils. So go through your customer journey and write down your complaints procedure, and use that exercise to predict possible customer complaints. Get the treatment yourself, be a mock client, or get somebody that you really trust, a a really good family or friend member and tell them, be brutal. If you could think of anything possible to complain about, and do like a mock kind of run through exercise of that. Then your complaints procedure, have it written down and literally have it like a version on your website as well. Not too wordy, but just to have that backup of like, do you have a procedure, even if you're solo entrepreneur, for if somebody arrives late, if somebody doesn't show up, is there penalties, do you take deposits? And then at least you're compensated with a deposit for the hour. But now you could have 2 different people booked in, you could have made twice the money in that hour, but you were sitting there because you haven't got a complaints procedure or a late cancellation fee, or like, use other salons and copy what they say, because it's all been done before. There's so much, use like chat GPT, like AI, to help you word it really professionally as well, and check out if there's any local laws. And then sometimes like check back with your college trainer as well if you're a solo entrepreneur, like, and sometimes they might be able to help you because they have industry experience. If you're really struggling, like, what are the local laws for this, or like quick Google search, like, help yourself, check other websites, kind of copy them and see what works. And or like call up your competition, your local salon, and ask these questions. Like, don't be telling them where you're from, but you could just pretend to be a client and be like, oh, if I needed to cancel, what would happen? Oh, well, on our webpage we have our cancellation booking explanation. We need 48 hours notice, or we need 24-hour notice. We only give 1 or 2 allowances for absolute like family emergencies and stuff. Otherwise we will be deducting if it's a treatment over a certain amount. Especially in the spa industry, it's a lot of money and a lot of time, and a lot of times you like have to prep the room with couch roll, and like hot stones have to be heated up, and like masks prepped, and you know, it's no joke. You need to have enough staff on standby, like especially if it's seasonal. You need to call in like the part-timers, and have all these have the room heated up and warm. Like, you can't just roll in 15 minutes before a big 2.5-hour spa package and turn on the candles then. Like, you know, there's a lot of prep, so that has to be communicated politely. And check other big like hotel websites are really good if there's like a hotel spa or salon or beauty clinic there, and check their procedures and copy them, see what you can learn from them. So normally it's like a deposit or a cancellation fee, or depending on the circumstances, like if a client has cancelled on you 2-3 times, it's like, no, the next one I'll have to take full payment and deduct from your credit card. Or if you're constantly coming across no shows, then people just not showing up for their appointment or on time, or like, there's only so much you can do. And at the start, to avoid complaints, if somebody does arrive late, you just have to politely say like, oh, well, hands-on treatment time now, like say the massage is 60 minutes, an hour, like you do have to say like, well, normally it's 55 minutes hands-on treatment. And some people get really fussy. They're like, I'm paying for 60 minutes. And you're like, no, you're paying for 60 minutes of the clinic time. But within that session, it may only be 55 minutes hands-on, because we do have to do a consultation. We have to get you on and off the bed. We have to check in with you. There's like communication and follow-up and sales as well. Like, you need to factor that in your timing and trying to double up. So like, clearly have spa policies and procedures written out that you can always refer them. This was on our website. We kindly asked our customers to come 15 minutes early so that they have time to get changed, they have time to read through the consultation, they have time to not feel rushed, That was the whole point of the spa, is the atmosphere and the energy. So this is why we have that procedure of 15 minutes. We even encourage people to come much earlier, come use the sauna and the facilities. So the earlier you can come, the better. You can spend all day here, come half an hour, come 2 hours early before your actual treatment time. So your hands-on treatment time starts at 3 p.m. Explaining things like that to people, or having making it really clear. So that's a possible complaint. People feel like, oh, the therapist rushed me, but it could be the therapist not communicating. Well, unfortunately, you were 10 minutes delayed, and there's a limitation to what we can do in the treatment. We can either move your appointment if we have backup staff, or we can change your treatment from an hour massage to a 40-minute Indian head or a 30-minute back massage, and do a concentrated treatment instead of trying to fit in when there's already been a 10-minute delay. Like, all this has to be communicated before they get on the treatment, and then they're already embarrassed that they're late, or they're already like annoyed and flustered, or you never know what some people some people had to get and go through to get to the spa, especially if you've like kids or a mother. So I'm quite lenient when it comes to like late, but I think you can politely communicate, okay, unfortunately we can't do the half an hour, but then that's your predicted commission for the day, or your income cash flow for the day down, because you are running a spa business. So yeah, you want to avoid all that by clearly stating, like, come early, here's our no-show policy, take deposits, all these things, because it makes your service more valuable. It makes it like, oh, we're not just like a small operation. You can't just, like, if you had a doctor's appointment, or if you had a hospital appointment and you were waiting 3 months on this appointment, would you show up late? Like, it's the energy behind it. Whereas people can be frivolous with, oh, that's just a beauty treatment, they can wait, or they'll be glad of the business. No, not if it's like clearly written on your website, clearly written at the booking, or a quick any treatments in our spa that are longer than 40 minutes or longer than an hour require deposit. It gives it kind of weight and value, and kind of remind them on the phone when they're booking in as well. So have your receptionist trained on these kind of policies and procedures, and be like clear in your communication, and it's all about like pre-thought. I think personally it's about, have you sat down and analysed this customer journey? Have you actually sat down and thought of these complaint procedures, predicted what could or may cause a complaint? And life happens, so it's not being you just have to try accommodate people as much as you can. And yeah, it's about, so if somebody's actually complaining at reception, it's your tone is very important. How do you approach them? Always try. You get a lot of like professional conduct training. We did in beauty school. I don't know, did you guys? Pop down in the comments below and let me know if that's what do you think is the lack of that type of training, because I could definitely do more in-depth look at that and give you like clear actual steps. This is professional training, these kind of personal hygiene for the therapist, presentation skills, clear communication, professional conduct, basically knowing like it adds confidence and weight to your treatment. So yeah, if somebody's actually at reception, always try, even if you're just a therapist but you might have management. If you're a solo esthetician, you have to deal with it, so you're a one-man show. Always try to listen, open body language, listen, try get them to either come to a different room or away from other customers. A gentle approach, just say, let me understand clearly, come follow me, we're just going to go over here, stand by the corner at reception, and lower your tone, slow down your pace. All these things will help like deflate the situation, because people want to be heard. So that's why they're getting louder and louder, more irate, and that's where the complaint can seem really like aggressive, because some people, they don't have good like complaint skills. They wouldn't be polite about it, they just burst out with it and come and it gets personal, and that therapist didn't do this for me, and why did this other person get a longer treatment? We went in at the same time, but you know, I felt like my treatment was cut short. You know, you need to have streamlined services for that reason. That can cause a complaint as well. If one therapist is doing more than the other, that therapist gave them samples and aromatherapy on a tissue and gave them extra, and then they were in the treatment room and they ran over another 5 minutes, and then the other client thinks they're being sold short, and they came in together and they're friends and they know each other and they're going to talk about the treatment afterwards. So if your customer service wants to be top notch and certain therapists want to stand out, I get that, but do have a general consensus and streamline. This is our standard for every client, and it's top notch standard, so there's going to be very little for them to complain about. And little things like feeling like one customer got more than the next customer won't apply. Let me just take a drink of water. So yes, if you have the client right in front of you, remember your body language, tone and your pace. Slow it down, get quiet, and just say, okay, I would really like to understand exactly what the issue is. Please step over here with me and listen. Open-ended questions, and listen and keep like, so your issue was this happened. And don't blame, don't be like, oh, we're sorry, don't be like, sorry for that. Like, because you don't know what happened yet. Get the information first. And even if you're the therapist, can I ask why you're not happy? Or you don't seem very happy. Was it not to your satisfaction? What exactly? Always ask specific and exactly. And if it's something you can solve, or like, because you're very stuck for time. So if they're like, oh, I don't like how thick the gel polish is on my nails, like, how much of that could have been avoided during the treatment? So it's skills, it's training, but sometimes people complain about the smallest thing, like something like a chipped nail polish 3 days later after the spa treatment is very like, again, subjective. You don't know what that client did at home with cleaning products. You don't know what that client did, like they walked out of the salon and didn't let the nails dry, or like little things like that. If it's a visual effect, or like skin reactions, if that's not managed, like especially knowing the difference between allergies and intolerance. A lot of times the skin can build up intolerance to certain products, so we obviously have no control over, like diet is involved and other products you're using at home. So if you've had a reaction or a rash to this product, it can not always be an allergic reaction. Sometimes it's a build-up over time, it's a skin intolerance. So it's a combination of the environment and stress levels and all this. I know you don't want to hear that. You have a rash. You obviously have been in for a skin treatment only 2 days ago with us. Now you're at home and your skin is sore and a rash. So let us help you. And then you can list off products. Like, it's letting them understand and sticking by your we use natural products, or we have high grade pharmaceutical medical grade treatments. However, that is to get these results, we often have the body can go into like a healing crisis, which is actually a good thing. It sounds so severe, but it's like your body's detoxing, or your body's your skin is building a tolerance, so there's redness involved. So that's all, like if you're doing skin peels or high level things, like managing the client's expectations. Like you definitely would have to communicate that, the potential side effects of this, and always get them to sign, like especially if you're doing, you'd get that in the training with the products, if you're doing like a skin peel or products where it's very common to get redness or a reaction. It can be like, even during the treatment, oh, I see redness in your skin now, that's called erythema, that's a good thing, don't be alarmed. Or like, so I used to do a treatment and it was like, I even got it on myself, right? And this is where your skills as a therapist come in. A radio, was it radio, RF, radio frequency? It was like micro needling with, basically it was complete resurfacing, and I got a patch of it done on my skin, and then we were doing like half face or full face on clients, and I remember having such like sensitivity to it and the emotional side to it. Like, I'd be quite delicate and sensitive that way, and I was like, oh, this patch of skin is really dry, flaky. It was like the same reaction you would get to like a retinol type cream. So I warned the client when I was doing the treatment on the client. It's so reassuring when you're telling that client. I would highly recommend you actually book the next day off work if you can, or can you work from home, because I've recently gotten this treatment and I felt very self-conscious. I had a dry skin, redness, inflammation on the skin. Now I thought that was brilliant. I knew, okay, that means this treatment is working. I'm going to get results. This is a good thing. Bring it on. The stronger the better. It's complete resurfacing. It's going to like boost my skin and put it into healing mode and just kickstart that collagen. Like, who doesn't want that? Like, I don't have to go get like Botox and fillers. This is like a genius way to get the skin to heal itself. So if you understand the science behind it, a like controlled injury to the skin boosts it and puts it into healing mode. And that healing mode is what? Anti-aging. It's like collagen boosting. It's brilliant. So if you come across with enthusiasm and excitement and manage their expectations. But I said to that client, like, I felt really self-conscious. I did not want to go to even the local shop. I did not want to leave the house. I did not want to put makeup on and go to work, even though I knew all this. Like, I felt really raw emotionally as well. It's your skin, it's your face. It's like, I knew it would be worth it. But like, I said all this to the client, and that client came back and she praised me in front of the manager, and she was so thankful. She said, I was about to go into the office tomorrow. I'm so glad. I didn't realize how serious this treatment was. I didn't realize how like high grade and intense it was. And she was so thankful that I mentioned those elements, but I managed her expectations. I had the right balance of enthusiasm for the results of the treatment without scaring her. So a good way to do that if you're a holistic therapist is like, most people complain like, oh, their shoulder was more sore after, or their back was more sore, and you're like, in the treatment you have to manage their expectations and be like, use very specific language. Like, you can't be like, oh, your shoulder's going to be so much, look at the knots in your shoulder and all that lactic acid and all those toxins. Like, that's really bad, that's really tense. So if I go give you a massage now, you're going to be so sore tomorrow. No, you say things like, this area, I've worked really concentrated on this area, so just to let you know, you may be a little bit tender tomorrow. The way to manage it is a heat pack, a lavender wheat infusion, aromatherapy oil. Also, I recommend you stay and use the sauna, or have you used the sauna beforehand? Yes. Oh, brilliant. That really helps with a lot of people experience tenderness after this deep tissue or this hot stone massage, because it's so powerful. You do need to be aware you may be a little bit tender, so take it easy, plenty of rest, plenty of water, stretches, yoga, use our sauna facilities, our jacuzzi after, because that heat will encourage lactic acid and lymph flow and really soothe your body afterwards. You can't just have your massage, jump up off the bed and go back to normal life. Like, if you're coming with a lot of toxins are going to come out. So you may be a little bit tender tomorrow. And people are happy with that. It's explained to them in a way that they can relate. It's actually explained to them in quite a way that they're like excited. They're like, oh, this isn't just any old like relaxation, quick massage. This is actually like therapeutic. Oh my God, I'm actually going to be, oh, okay. Not to put in their head that they're going to be sore, like, but yeah, have you ever gotten a brilliant massage? Have you ever gotten a Thai massage? Yeah. You'll feel it the next day, but you can't say that blatantly to people, like, because it'll scare them a bit, or they'll like hone in on that then, and then they'll be like all worked up, and they could be very anxious, and like that's taken away from the effect. Like, it's that tenderness, and you're just like, yeah, that's to be expected. Even if they call up, like, they may not be complaining as such. They may just be like, oh, I've noticed that I was really sore after that hot stone, or I still have a lot of redness on my skin. It's like there was a mark left from the warm stone, the hot stone massage, or the lava shell massage. And what you say is like, yeah, that's to be expected. That's a fantastic news. That's good. Don't panic. This is how you manage it. Cool compress, aloe vera if you need to, but like explain the benefits, and they just reiterate. So yeah, okay, so be aware that some people are bargain hunting discounters, and that it's nothing personal. They are literally trying to complain. Their whole mission is to complain in order to get a discount. So if you just throw like a discount or a refund at them, like, they're basically looking for free treatments. So be aware of those type of people, and they don't really value your service. Like, there's such a thing as a good customer, bad customer. You want customers who see the value in your service, so you're just going to continue to work with them. So price increase is one of the ways, especially if you're solo business owner, you can definitely increase your prices slowly, and that's how you weed out people who don't value your service. You want to work with people who see your results. It's like dating. It has to be a good match. It has to, for both parties, to have a win-win situation. You getting them results, and the results also can be holistic, like feeling better. People either want to look better or they want to feel better. That's the value in health, wellness, beauty, spa treatments. It's an experience, so it has to be, they didn't feel rushed. They felt that you were attentive. They felt everything was explained to them. Some customers don't always go to the spa. Maybe they haven't been in years, or they go once a year. That you do need to reiterate little things, or like a great thing to avoid complaints is like putting people at ease. So it's like, sometimes if you're asking them to come into the treatment room, and like they may be nervous, which way do I lie, where do I go, they don't want to be like embarrassed. So it's like those little things of demonstrating a little bit, like, oh, please lie this way. Like, it's so many, you're in your dressing gown, you're getting your customer, you're coming in, you're like a little bit sleepy. Like, it's really hard to take in those instructions sometimes. And I've had treatments where the therapist was talking so fast. Slow down. That's a complaint as well. You're like, you're just frazzling me. I'm in this real calm, relaxed state, and you're coming in and just bombarding me with so much information. It's like, try to do less words, demonstrate more while you're talking. Literally, like, lay your hand or put your, like, this is how please lie down. We're going to start on the back of your body for your full body massage, Swedish massage. So I need you to place your head in through this hole. Like, you literally have to spell it out really clearly, because people are in a different state of mind. They're relaxed. They're after coming from the sauna, after coming from the pool. You don't know if they've had a few glasses of Prosecco, which they shouldn't be if they're having spa treatments, but you know, sometimes it's a package like that. So actually, like, mimic and kind of gesture. Your body language will get the message across. So use your body language, use all your communication skills, tone, pace of voice, slow down, and don't give me too much information. less is more. For the skin treatment, I'm going to ask you to sit on the couch this way. We will then do a skin consultation. Afterwards, I'll give you time to relax during the facial cleanse and massage, and afterwards I'll check in with you again. So you'll have time to relax, but also today, if you're on board, I really want to give a good skin analysis. Do you agree with that? What do you think of that? Yes. They like that. Professional and can avoid complaints. Like, the main worry when you're coming in for a treatment as a client is, will I have time to relax, or will I have time to relax? Will your guard is up a bit? Oh, they're going to try to sell me products. They don't understand that you're going to be recommending and stuff. So if you say things like, doing a skin analysis, it's like your benefit. You're going to learn about your skin. I'm going to do a skin consultation. Then I'm going to write you a prescription sheet of home care advice, recommendations, things to do. Not just like, there's a nicer way of ethically saying like you do want to recommend products, but they have their guard up. They're not going to be open to sales and products when they're in a relaxed state and they're in a robe. And then you have to be also ethically think about how the person feels. They're not used to spa therapists are very open with their body and people, and when you're doing reflexology treatments, I didn't get my pedicure done, things like that people are self-conscious about. They're self-conscious about their body, and you're doing like a spray tan, or you're doing like a body treatment, and you're not even seeing that or thinking of that. But they could be like, which way do I do? Do I put the bra straps down? Do I do that? All these thoughts. So you have to put them at ease. And things like that will avoid complaints. I think if it starts off with good vibe, good energy, the links in the chain, you have your complaints procedure, you can never be too professional. I believe you can never be too professional. And now let me think about what else about complaints. Prices. I would just say if somebody's complaining, don't straight away go to the discount. Figure out what was wrong. Try explain that, well, the treatment has taken place, that has taken up the therapist's time. Obviously this is a salon, you're paying for the not just results, you're actually paying for the time of the therapist. So we understand it's quite subjective. We understand you're not happy. You have specifically voice back to them, you have specifically said you're not happy with this, so we can try fix that for you today. Or if you would like to come back with us, have a better experience, we can give you a discount. Don't just say a free treatment. You don't have any you often as a therapist don't have that authority. Always try to get the manager on board. They like seeing that their complaint is being taken really seriously. Don't be afraid going to your superior if you're working in a team. Straight away call them. Complaints happen. This is business. You need to be prepared for them and not take it as a personal, you're not going to be seen less in. I think your employer is really immature if they cannot differentiate that the complaint is not always directly a result of the therapist. It's a result of the sales environment, the customer journey, the links in the chain. And if somebody is getting complaints repeatedly, it's lack of training. Any confident therapist that connects well with a customer and gives them results doesn't get complaints. The complaints happen if it's either, like I said, the bargain hunting people and the poverty mindset, just out to get anything. They're just thinking of random stuff. Oh, the room was too bright. Oh, I didn't like that colour. The dressing gown was itchy. Anything. Or they just didn't vibe with the therapist. And a lot of women, I've noticed, they don't often get treatments. They're really awkward and embarrassed, and then you have this therapist who's all hair, makeup, nails, everything done perfectly. It arouses this kind of insecurity in the client if they're not used to getting treatments. And sometimes that can lead, it's like an energetic thing as well. But why are you in the beauty industry as a therapist if you're not open-minded and you're not kind-hearted? You're in the wrong industry. You're dealing with people. You have to understand, if somebody complains that they're probably just had such such high expectations of, this is going to make me relax, and you're like, well, I'm sorry, you've had months upon months of personal stress in your life. I don't think 2 hours in a spa are going to solve all your inner child wounds. People are not in touch like that. So sometimes they complain, and it's not a personal thing. It could have been anything in the spa. They would have been complaining if it was a shop. They're just not doing well. Sometimes people can't express themselves, so the complaint is actually a symptom of something larger going on. So there has to be a lot of compassion. Don't take it personal. Have your procedures in place. Have everything pre-discussed with your manager or with yourself. Decide on your limits. Okay, if they complain about the treatment, I will max do 10% off, or no, I'm going to invite them back to the salon with this discount or give them loyalty. Only I would recommend 10 to 15% or maybe 20% of some kind of reduction, or try to redo, but that's taking up your time as well. But if you can say, okay, well, today I'm fully booked, I'm back to back, your treatment time was this treatment time, I tried to talk to you and communicate and ask if you were happy with the results, you've now complained, that is okay. What I can do for you, I can't do this. You have to be really clear. I can't do this. I can't fix your nails right now today. I can invite you back tomorrow before this time, or I can move around appointments. Are you free? Can you do this? I know people don't want to wait, or what can happen is another complaint can be things are not in stock, and that would annoy me as a customer if you tell me, oh, well, we can order it in online for you, it's going to take 3-4 working days, and you're like, no, the therapist recommended this product. So again, you have to be how do you avoid that? Have something in your do you do a sales meeting with your staff that morning to try figure out if there's certain stock, make them aware these are the monthly specials, and I think always under promise and over deliver. That's the best with complaints. That's the best to avoid them. So never say you need this product and then you walk out and it's not there on the shelf, it's not in stock. So it's double check if that's there, or don't promise if you can't deliver. So it's how can you avoid that? Can you use a sales tracker and if you check this person's booked in for this type of facial, a calming facial or a intense anti-aging facial, what anti-aging products do I have in-house? Obviously you might know other products in that range, but did you check if they're actually stocked and on your shelf? And things like that, where people, or if you are running out of the product. So if you plan and use a sales tracker, a log sheet, and before, at the start of the day, you would look what's ahead of you and what's booked in. Obviously there's always changes and last minute bookings and walk-in clients, I understand that, so it's not possible for all of them, but definitely in a spa setting or a hotel spa setting where there's larger, longer treatments and they've been booked in, you could take 10-15 minutes as a therapist and pre-plan your day and have a think about what you don't recommend that on the spot. Always check what's in-house, what's available, and complaints can be avoided. Again, that's if you're working as a well-oiled team, you're working on your links in the chain and your customer journey. So links in the chain as in the step-by-step what the client goes through, looking at that. and predicting possible avenues for error and complaints. So don't take it personal if there's several complaints against you as a therapist. It means there's a lack of training. If you're confident and you know your stuff, complaints will go down. So it's not nice if you don't have a manager that supports you and especially in front of the client, or would try to blame you or take out your wages. Get out of that working environment straight away. That's not supportive. As in with beauty, things can happen, like accidents or but it all comes down to lack of work experience or lack of confidence, and that is lack of training. So you need to constantly be updating. You take charge as a therapist to learn more, to ask somebody who never gets complaints, one of the other staff members, how do you do this? Look things up like this on YouTube, get advice, get help. Especially the more complaints you deal with, the more you get you're able to detach and be it is a natural consequence of business, because our treatments are so subjective. There's always going to be opinions. Subjective as in it's how somebody feels, and you can't control that. What one person thinks is an outstanding treatment, another mightn't be that impressed by. So you need to be aware about that, and that people have their own stuff going on. The general public, they're coming to your salon with other things going on. It's not always you might just happen to be there and get the brunt of it. But that's the same if you work in a shop, if you work in retail, if you work, imagine being an air hostess, or people are tired and cranky and they might only realize afterwards how they sounded, and how you just don't want things to get personal, but you just have to not be attached to the outcome. So what if they complain? You have to know what to do. So it's confidence and training. Have you been trained in complaints? And if you don't feel confident right now how you would handle a complaint, go get training. Go get training straight away. So yeah, you become quite your confidence builds, and you become a little bit more detached the more you deal with them, and to just accept that it may happen and predict it and plan for it before it happens. Not that you're welcoming them, or not that you're going to encourage complaints, but if you don't even have a complaints procedure written down, then you won't know what to do in the moment, because emotions get involved. People can get triggered. It might sound quite critical or accusatory from the customer, but that's just language. So you constantly have to remain detached. You're professional. If you're confident and happy and you're proud of your skills as a therapist, then you will be able to calmly manage that complaint. And you have to move on and shake it off, and you're never going to be able to please everybody, especially if you're working in large volumes in a very busy clinic or very busy day spa, or you're working where it's a holiday resort, it's vacation, it's a resort spa. You're going to get all walks of life, you're going to get all people, whereas you're a solo esthetician or your solo massage therapist, you're going to be able to be a bit more picky and choosy with your clients, so you're going to get less complaints that way because you emit a certain vibe, but you seriously cannot gel with everybody. It can be a vibe thing. It can be, when you're into holistics and beauty, you tend to be a lot more spiritual, you tend to be a lot more you operate on a different level, or and sometimes people, they don't know why, but they're just not vibing together. So people can have different I have a video all about energetic sales, like how you show up, or there's feminine energy, there's masculine energy. Sometimes you can butt heads and it's subconscious, or it's a certain word or way you describe something, and you can't help if that person gets offense. Is always taken, never given. So if you're getting constantly the complaints, work on your training, work on your complaints procedure, work on predictable like things that you could predict could cause complaints. And I hope this really inspires you to stay detached. It's get more training if you're getting complaints, and work with your team. And if your team isn't serving you, you're not bound to stay there. There are other clinics. Like try work with your manager first and say, we really need a complaint procedure. We really need these. Like, that's going to impress the manager. If that manager has any kind of business sense, they're going to see how valuable you are. And if not, they're lost. Move along. So you have to have that kind of good confidence in your skills, and all that comes from practice. All that comes from like exposure and work experience. So the more you hear or see complaints, and try to always seek, you need to do open-ended questions, and that listening, active listening. So what is active listening? It's trying to listen and not have a response ready. It's genuinely taking in the information. So calm down and reiterate, like say it back to them. So you are saying you're not happy with this part of the treatment that happened today. Why do you think that is? How did that come about? Open-ended questions, and let the customer talk and rant. Let the customer run their emotions, and just stand there and detach. Because sometimes it's not about you, they're just complaining. And then you'll be so surprised how customers, once they feel heard and validated, yes, I can see how, without admitting like blame or fault or that therapist is terrible, of course she shouldn't have done that. Like, no, you back up your staff, and we're all trained the same. So my therapist must be, I'll have to try find out what happened, or if there's a gap in the skills, or just don't admit fault. Wait until you get the full story. So you can be like to the customer, oh, I see. So what you're saying is this part is where you feel you're not happy, or you're not happy with the nails. Like, some people come in like 2-3 weeks later or 5 days later and say like, oh, I'm not happy with this chipped nail polish. And you're like, yeah, we have no control of what you're doing at home. Like, are you wearing gloves every time you clean? Are you wearing gloves every time you use sanitizer? Are you but like, you can say, okay, so what you're saying is you're not happy with the results. 2 of your gel nails fell off. Okay, and you can't blame the client to be like, well, you probably did this at home. It just doesn't add anything. So what can you do? Well, unfortunately today we're fully booked. What I can offer you is come back tomorrow, and sometimes like small things, if it's not a full redo of like all the nails, if it's just 2 or 3, sometimes it's just easier to actually just, if you have to open late, and you have to decipher if that's a good client. Is this a bargain hunting person, or is this genuinely 2-3 of her gel nails just didn't stick? There could have been some problem with the pH, there could have been oil on her hands, cream on her hands, something that somewhere along the process the nails just didn't stick, or she did do something at home, or he did something at home where it just didn't stay on. That have a policy in place. Okay, if it's any more than 3 nails, I don't redo them, and I'll either stay after hours, invite the client back after hours. We're fully booked today, but I have time in an hour, can you come back? Or I'm booked right up until 6 p.m, but Mary, Sarah, whatever the client's name is like, you come in very regularly to us, so we know you're a loyal customer. I think this was just a genuine, these things can happen. I'll fix those 3 nails with you. I hope you appreciate that. I'm going to stay after hours and quickly try get them done, and make sure she books back in. Make sure she, as in, make sure that client is, we welcome you back in the salon. Like, come back and have a good positive experience with us. Like, they say it takes one bad experience in a service, or it can be needs almost 10 like one bad negative experience needs almost 10 good positive experience to counteract it. So always invite them back, get them booked, and you might lose the client over things like this, but that's people's prerogative. They'll eventually come back to you because it's how you handle it. Like, you can literally go from somebody complaining a lot, but you handle it so well and so professionally. They feel so much confidence in you. They're like, wow, like, oh, they nearly get embarrassed. Like, kill them with kindness. Be kind, polite, professional, calm, and that's how they, like, in the long run, you'll come out looking like, wow, they're so professional. And always try to pull the client away from other customers to the side, and active listening. Mirror back what they're saying so they feel heard, and say things like, I can see why you would feel that way. I can see how that could be upsetting. It's that validation. Don't just go straight to apologize. Don't go straight to like brush it off. Well, that's not our standard here, or these things happen. No, I can see how that can be upsetting. Yes, you've come and paid for a service, and now this seems like a nuisance to you now, or this is taking time out of your day. It's like not admitting blame, but you're validating what they've said. So that comes from active listening, and that calms the situation. And be aware of your tone, and that's how to handle it in the moment. But work on prevention. Prevention is better than cure. So that is my wealth of knowledge on complaints. The more you deal with them and the more you face it head on, the more detached you'll become, and the more confident you'll deal with it. And it's just part of the job, and you'll know what to do. If you know what to do, you're confident and you don't fear them, and it's just can be part of the business. Remember, things are subjective. People are coming with their own stuff. It's not a reflection of you and your skills. Be proud of what you can do, and I hope this inspires you. I hope you got good knowledge from this. Pop in the comments below what you really liked, or pop in the comments below what complaints procedures you do. And if other therapists are sharing in the comments, you might pick up a few tips. Or you could say, write an actual question. I'm this type of therapist, and these are the complaints I've come across. What can I do? And we'll look at it together. That's what I want to do. I want to get some feedback from you guys, so I'd appreciate that. You can write in the comments, like add a comment and write a question, or I have my Instagram page linked in a lot of the videos and in the about section on this YouTube page, so you can actually contact me that way if you want to not have a public comment, you want to have a personalized question, and I'll do my best. I'll do it for free initially, because I'm trying to gather feedback to do like a course, if you guys are interested in actual like selling and customer care course, and to have all these in like not a chatty video, but a literally structured like classroom type bullet points, PowerPoint presentation, if you guys like that style. But I find I learn a lot more from, you can play these type of podcasts in the background. You can be cleaning the salon, you can be doing stuff in your downtime, you can be driving home and listening to this and all that wealth. And it's a different, more feminine style of learning. It's like just being in somebody's presence. It's like you pick up how they talk and how their tone is, instead of pen and paper and that traditional classroom setting. So I think things are changing with YouTube, which is a positive thing. People learn in all different styles, in all different ways. And I know therapists always learn very visually, so if you wanted to take some notes, or I think a lot of therapists learn from direction and listening as well, so hopefully this is helpful. And I know that that's how I dealt, and if somebody had said these things to me, I would have been less emotional, I would have been less like put out if I got a complaint. Like sometimes it used to like really hurt my feelings, and just exposure, just over time you start, once I went in the corporate world dealing with complaints, it's like you're so detached, you're just like, able to deal with them with professionalism, and like I've come such a long way. So if I had found a video like this back in my beauty days, or a podcast, like to listen to that and to get that reassurance, or to get that, oh, like that she said it this way, brilliant, I'm going to use that. And then to apply it and actually use it on clients and then see the results and see their reactions, like it would have just saved me so much time and hassle. And like, people have made these mistakes before, people have made these experiences. Why not use this wealth of knowledge that's out there? So until next time, pop in the comments if you've any other questions or other types of videos you'd like to see, and I will hear from you and see you guys next time.